Okay, now we're on the second part of chapter 2, and I'll share my screen with your PowerPoints. So we just finished pre-understanding. Oh, I think I did my screen wrong. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Here we go. And now we're on organization. So organization is the process of sorting the information into categories, into likes and not alikes, or and similarities, differences, pros, cons. Now, Gestalt, who created the Gestalt theory, is your gut feeling. Okay, it's the context matters, and all the information, we draw a conclusion. So we generally have a sense of something based on our past experiences or what we've heard. So here are your Gestalt principles. They fall into different categories of proximity and continuity. So proximity is organization based on relationship of space and objects. So how something is closer to you and how something is farther away from you is part of this Gestalt. Continuity is drawing connections. So, more people calling sick on Super Bowl Monday. So I guess, we're drawing a conclusion that everybody stays up late for Super Bowl and will call in sick. Then we have similarity. And so similarity is you group things together by similarity and differences, and uniformity is noting ways in which concepts or objects are alike. So you will notice an armored car because they almost all look alike, and so you can detect it quickly. So figure and background, emphasis on one single item in the environment. So if something is, there's a statue in the middle of your town. Symmetry, we base things on balancing. That's why we like things balanced according to our environment, the way trees are placed. And then closure, tendency to use previous knowledge to fill in the gaps. So we do connect the dots, even though the full broad line doesn't have to be there. You can you come to a conclusion. Okay, so our interpretation reflects our cultural backgrounds from your past experiences. Again, we interpret new things based on past experiences, feelings, attitudes, knowledge, beliefs. And then we also include this very vague statement: structural barriers like socioeconomic status, parental and peer influences, and their corresponding cultural norms, and the need to work to support yourself or family can all influence your decisions and perspectives. So that's everything. But then again, you don't know someone else's. So that's why we're studying this, because of that last slide. So the iceberg model, here's a picture of it. So we want to spend less time or not make all of these judgments just on what we see in the beginning, but we want to further develop and ask more questions, allow people to self-identify. Okay. And demographic traits. So people from certain areas and cultural backgrounds are going to have characteristics that make someone an individual, but that he or she can also have something common to others as well as something different than others. But accordingly to your demographics in a particular area of your town, or your town compared to another town, that's called demographic traits. So we have perceptual strategies to help us to become effective intercultural communicators. We want to remain active listening. We don't want to be on our phones listening. We want to recognize each person's unique frame and reference. That last slide, everyone has a prism and each of the different dynamics. change from people to people, even if it's your next door neighbor and that you went to grammar school with. Recognize that people, objects, and situations change. Become aware of role perceptions play in communication, because we all play different roles at different times. You're a student, you're a teacher, you're a parent. Check your perceptions, always verify. Reciprocity is the fairness in intercultural communication. It's a relationship of mutual exchange. So here are the four components of reciprocity. It's mutuality, non-judgmentalism, honesty, and respect. So mutuality means that you search for a common ground. So we know there's that saying, which is agree to disagree. But even that, you want to start on a common ground to be able to speak about something. So even if you disagree in a part of history, you're agreeing that you're there to discuss different elements of that thing in history. Non-judgmentalism, the willingness to examine diverse ideas and viewpoints. So not being so steadfast or fixed, and we're not asking you to agree, but understand their point of view. Honesty, we all want it. Respect, we all want it. Active listening. So these are the steps to make sure that you are showing your listener, or the person is speaking, that you're actively involved. Americans love eye contact. We let, if not eye contact, posture and movement. Talking on your phone while you're talking to someone is not active listening. You think you're there, but you're really not 100% focused. So these are some areas you want to develop your active listening skills. And then we are both people-oriented or action-oriented, and there are others where sometimes we're not. Maybe we're only people-oriented listeners. So they tend to be comfortable listening to both the words and the way the words are communicated. So your nonverbal communication. So it's the more holistic approach to the message and the person delivering the message. Whereas action tend to listen to information that is well organized and to the point, no errors, like a speaker, a public speaker. Certain teachers maybe teaching you in a more action-oriented way. Some teachers are more flexible, using their information by understanding who the class is to understand that point of view. Content-oriented tend to listen to content of the message, focusing on details. So here is something that's more lecture-generated. Are you the person that just wants the content to pass the test? Time-oriented, which is me right now, because I want to get a lecture in 15 minutes. Okay, so tips to facilitate positive intercultural communication. You definitely will want to set aside a special time when you're having a conversation. Every environment isn't conducive for every particular emphatic talk, which is your everyday talk. Don't interrupt. That's against your active listening part. Be non-judgmental, very hard to do, but maybe you have a little person in your head saying, keep your opinions to yourself a little bit and get some more information, and be accepting to change over there. And take turns. There should be a ratio between speaker and listener, and the listener should be about 60%, if not more. And understand what is being said, not hearing what you want to hear, and keep your cool. Okay, so this highlights chapter 2, and your next chapter will be chapter 3 in another video. Thank you again.